What's up, y'all? So I've had a couple of things that I've been meaning to do a video on, and today's the day. Now's the time. This is the moment. We're gonna do a video on plastic containers. Again, y'all know I have a love for plastic containers of all kinds, and I went to Harbor Freight, which is the cheapy tool place, and I picked up these three different ones, but 4 plastic containers the other day. We're going to take a look at them because they are, as with most things from the cheapy tool store, copies of original stuff. So I specifically in this video, I've used these quite a bit, and I'm going to show you how I use those. And these, I've got a bunch of these, but I've got them in the Plano version, I believe. Is that Plano? That Plano? Yeah, Plano version. And we're going to test how sturdy it is. First off, straight away. See if it breaks right. But yeah, let's take it apart and see. I haven't even unwrapped it, and I want to unwrap it and use it, which is why I'm doing this video. Also, this is new. It's an Apache, as is the Apache cases that I've done a couple of videos on. That's my drill kit in my truck. This is my microphone for Saturday morning lives. Of course, these are all copies of Pelican. And you can see, I've mentioned this before, this is why I hate pick and pluck, because it never stays like it should. But go up a size. So this is the small, is it 2800? Not the smallest, not the smallest, whatever. It's small. This one's bigger. So we put this on top of that. We can see the size difference there. So that's like, there's one size smaller that I don't really have a use for, or I hadn't found a use for it yet. But you can see that, and I put my microphone up, so that's why this is out. This is what I use in my kit in my truck for my drill. You can see it's pretty empty right now. And then when I was at Harbor Freight the other day, I noticed these. And I think they've actually had these out for a couple of months. But this is similar to other Plano and Pelican cases. However, it is cheaper. So let's get all this up on the counter, and we'll talk about how I use them. So I've got this inside of my truck right now. We've talked about plastic cases. This is the Husky. Is this Husky? I don't know. Yeah, Husky case there. I use that. Right now I use it for just some stuff. The only bad thing about, watertight and airtight is it does retain smell. So the screwdrivers with the plastic handles causes some issues long term, but the really good thing about this is it's also moisture proof. So if you have trouble in damp climates, and I bought this kit a while ago, so what happened is I noticed it started picking up these little things of rust just from being in a bag, like by itself, thrown in a non-airtight bag. I started picking up freaking rust. So I was like, well, let's solve that by putting it in here, and it seems to have mostly stopped. And that would be what these are for. That's what that little rubber seal's for. So I was like, you know what? I've got screwdrivers. This looks like it would be a perfect size for things, hand screwdrivers, pliers, to keep in. Now, there's a Pelican one of these. There is the Plano one of these. There, I think, a Woodstream makes one, and now Apache makes one. This one was normally $14.99. I didn't have a coupon, but it automatically at the register knocked off $3, so this was $11.99. And then this one right here was $5.99. So this one is an exact replica of the Plano. What model? Model 3640. This is literally an exact replica of it. We can see the plain oak, kind of has a, what do you, skeletonized. That doesn't. Let's go ahead and bust this sucker open. How are we open? Come on, open up. Let's take a look at you. I'm gonna presume that pretty much nothing's different about it. You know, the plastic. Let's give it a little squeeze. So that's not bad. Definitely, this one definitely has more squeeze factor. So number one, straight up, as expected, it is gonna be a little bit lighter duty plastic, maybe. Okay, here's another thing. I hate. Y'all have noticed this. This is one of my pet peeves. But let's see how it does. Look at. Okay, here we go. Thank you. All the way off. Yeah, I love it. So these are Storehouse brand, which this is the same as these little guys right here. We're gonna bust one of these open. I actually have several of these in use, so I have used these before. Now I would recommend, you know, you've got a seal there. Open. What the heck? Those have the rubber seal. These do not. However, oh, hey, sweet. I would not recommend using these for anything other than pretty much what I'm going to show you now. The plastic latches, and you got some little separator, divider, little divider deals there. And, you know, not weatherproof. If you step on it or something, I'm sure it will break. But yeah, let's look at the differences between these two first, and then we're gonna go ahead and pop this guy open. Now, the one thing that I've noticed about Apache containers compared to the Pelican containers, or even other cheapy type containers, notice to prevent open valve after changing altitude. It's the valve. So I'm gonna see what the difference is here. Here we go. Okay. Ooh, hello. Now it's got a little metal pin going across it for the hinges. That's good. But what I've noticed with the Apache stuff is this valve is usually the cheap. This valve's usually the weak link in it. And most of the time, I can't even. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. And it's really just a screw. So can we lose it? Will it come all the way off? It will come all the way off. So it's simply just a screw plugging a hole. So that is one of the main differences between this and a Pelican brand, or a better quality brand, is open. What are you doing? Come off, padlock. The seal is designed on the actual Pelican branded stuff. We can see it's not just a cheapy screw. It's actually a like this, like, I don't know, is it? It may be just a cheapy screw. Let's see, genuine Pelican. How do we do this? Pressure. Turn. Now this really only, okay, yeah, so it's not a screw, it's in, out. I can't really tell what it is from that side, but it's pretty obvious that it's not just a screw type mechanism or whatever. It's a kind of specially designed valve. This, you know, it's supposed to probably relieve pressure when it gets to a certain height altitude, but you know, I don't fly, so that's not a big deal for me. They really aren't subjected to underwater, you know, constant rain, because I leave them in the truck. But you know, that is one of the things, if we bring over one of these Apaches here, we can see this little one right here, and we can see this one's just a same thing. Oh, get out of the way. If we move this out of the way, see down there, it's made, it's really just a screw with a fancy head, kind of like a thumb screw almost. So there is a difference in the valve for sure. You know, if you're flying and you've got high dollar in stuff that you keep in there, definitely spring for a Pelican brand, because the valve, I'm sure, is a lot better. But if you're just using it for your toolbox, if you're using it for screws like we're going to show in a minute, it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, maybe it may crack sooner than the original. I don't know, but honestly, besides just getting banged up in my truck a little bit and occasionally falling off the table and, you know, hitting the ground or whatever, there's really no reason, if you're a little bit more careful, there's really no reason why it should do any different between the two of these. I keep these in a bin kind of like this in my vehicle, so they fit. You know, there's like several of them in there, so they're kind of protected. It's like protection within protection. But let's just see. This is the $11.99 guide. Does this fit in here? It barely fits in there. If we took that out, it would fit in there perfect. Let's see, linesman's pliers. That's one of those things that's one of those bigger issues. But you know, most hand tools there, you know, we could keep all these together there, just like that, and we could throw in a couple of these and a couple of these. Maybe that. Oh, this is not supposed to be. How'd you get out? Get back in there. Yeah, and aside from that, you know, all that would slim down. So there we go. So that, you know, I can use this for something else now, which is actually, you know, possibly what I'll do. I don't know yet, but so yeah, I think for $11.99, this is a really good value. If you have a Harbor Freight or whatever that sells Apache stuff, check it out next time you're over there. Here's another sticker. Come on. Oh, thank you. Don't tear. Oh, dang it. We have learned not to use any chemicals because it will, like even Goo Gone, which is a light chemical, will frost the clear plastic. You definitely don't want it frosting, especially on top. But I think, you know, for what it is, for $11.99 compared to in the Plano version, if you go to a sports store or whatever, you would see this for around $20. So $14.99 marked down to $11.99. Most of the time you can get it on sale. If you notice, some of the Harbor Freight coupons for a while with Plano cases, they weren't letting you use it on Apache, but they have been using it. You have been able to use it. So when you see your 20% coupons, it can apply to Apache cases, both big and small like that. So remember that. Saves you some money. So I'm pretty happy with that purchase, you know, aside from, like I said, the cheesy screw thing right there, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be flying with this, but pretty sweet. This shows all, they actually have some rolly ones and some gun cases now. So yeah, pretty good product. I think that makes a good alternative. You know, some people are always going to want to buy the best stuff. I get flamed when I mention Harbor Freight by people. It's like, oh my God, don't you do Harbor Freight? But for stuff like this, $5.99 compared to $7 or $8 or $9.99. They don't have one of the bigger ones yet. I didn't see any of the big ones. They've got the big Plano, same size but a thin version. And you can see here, I've also put in, this is kind of one of my kits that I use for drills and installs. I keep the more common drill bits in here. A little bit messy right now. Even got some complimentary leaves. But it does a good job for what it is, for what you're using it for. There's so many different uses, you know. This is just one example of a use. And you can see here I've also got my, this is what I call my kit that I use for impressioning. which has held most of the small wafer style keys that I would be using in a impressioning situation. The only thing that I miss about this is a place to put my Lishi clipper, because as y'all know, I use my Lishi clipper a lot on site to make filing cabinet keys now. And I would love to have a little bit more room to put my Peter Fox guide and my Lishi clipper in there, but it doesn't, so that's unfortunate. But in the meantime, they don't make that. The only one I saw on site was this one, and lastly, the deeper one here, I use this. Actually, I need to refill this, so let me reach over here while I'm doing this, because this is like when I'm not, when I'm on the site of a job or whatever, and giving new keys to people, I always kind of put them on tags like that, so I needed to refill. I got different size key rings, and even like wrist coils and stuff in here. This is kind of my mobile key accessory kit, and it works well for it. It's a little too thick to use for much besides that, because it's so deep and it's so big. If you put metal things in here like tools or keys, it's going to be so heavy because it's so deep. And in a lot of cases, I don't need a lot of room, and also the layout's different. You've got different layouts with the smaller, with the thinner ones. You can add a bunch of little cross hatches to it. So that brings us to this one. Let's move this out of the way. And this one, and I'll show you what I use that for. But let's take a look at this one. So I mentioned the handle. Looks like the handle's definitely designed differently. Exactly the same size. Comes with Okay, the handle definitely. Let's look at that. Let's look at that a little bit closer. Zoom in. So, yeah, that's definitely okay. Plastic hinge. Does this have plastic? Yep, that has plastic hinge too. This feels, that feels a little bit sturdier than that. I don't really think I like how that does that. Yeah, I think I definitely like that better. It snaps and it does seal it, but this one feels like it seals it better to me. It's like you hear the different snick. Okay, and then it's a different snick. It's a different snick. But anyway, I'm not going to measure the plastic or anything like that. But again, it comes with all the little doodads there, and really to make these work, you have to get a razor knife and trim them up. Let me grab one real quick just to slip it in. And that's another one of the things with these. Is how well these stay down, right? You always have to do a little trimming on the edge there always to get it to sit right. Just get a little razor knife and clean it up. And what is this? The middle. So we're gonna middle right there. I mean, it worked. It's. I don't see how it's much different at all compared to this one. I think it's going to be pretty much the same. Possibly a little bit lighter plastic. The latches, not as great, but and you can see kind of how messy that is. We talked about this in live today. There's some Sergeant Green Springs right there. Green Springs, some L series. This is just my parts kit. Got like Schlage tail pieces and other various parts in this, and I have about 5 of these in my truck, both with drill bits. I've got one with taps in it, a whole bunch of different things. You can use them for any small parts because, of course, with locks and locksmithing, you have a crap load of small parts that you got to deal with. So there's always going to be a need for plastic organizer bins. You know, I would almost be, I don't know, to save the money, say if I had to buy a bunch of these, I would definitely never use them for pinning kits because, because these little pins, I mean, that's stuck freaking down in there. That's pretty good. But as soon as that comes up, you know, your pins are going to slide from one to another. You get one good shake out of it the wrong way, and you're going to have pins going across the bottom. I really don't like the handles at all. And maybe it's just because I'm so used to these. I feel like these are maybe, I don't know, it's the same width, same height, everything. Just the handles. Actually, look at that. It's a little deeper. Does that look deeper to you? Oh, look at that. That is deeper. There we go. Well, in case you were wondering, let's hold them up side by side. Put them on a table side by side, and let's do this. Look at that. It is. It's a little blockier. You know, this has rounded corners right there, so that's good. And this is square. So that's one thing about it. You know, you pay for different features. Honestly, I think I'm probably gonna stick with those. This was just a try to see how it works, how different it is, and we can see there that has the squared off top. Now that means that it will hold maybe a little bit taller stuff, but you know, sometimes that's not important. Sometimes it's more important to have this so that when you're slipping it down in something, like it doesn't hang up against each other maybe. All right, I don't know. So going to this, I use these for make your own judgment. Now that I've shown you, you can make your own judgment. So this is my stainless kit, and you can see I keep them in a bag. These fit perfectly in one of those Lowe's AWP bags, and you can see what I do with these. And I'm actually making one of these for the giveaway that I've got coming up, the massive giveaway. I'm going to be building pretty much an exact replica of this with an assortment of screws. You can see over there, right there, you see all the screws that I got sitting waiting. Look at that. This is $50 worth of sheet metal screws, and also I bought a few extra because I need to add some to my kit. But I've got round and flat head in here as flat head, and then round head. It's not going to be exactly like my kit because I didn't get as many. I've been building this kit for a while, and also have another one with Allen screws. There we go. Marked it with my little label maker thing. We've got Allen and knurled head. I can't remember what Allen head, knurled head. I can't remember what you call those. And then also we have some security headed. These are all. This is pretty much my stainless section, which you can get these screw assortments from Harbor Freight for really cheap instead of paying $50 for individual packs of screws. You can sometimes find, you know, these stainless screws, but you know, sometimes you need other stuff. As a locksmith, you definitely are going to run across a huge need for replacement screws always, and there are so many different sizes, styles, heads. For the most part, 632, 832, 1024, 1020, 32, and then I have a whole separate 1/4 inch section. And yeah, if you're gonna have these, I definitely wouldn't like just toss these in a bag, because I would definitely be scared that little plastic would pop open. But the one thing I like about this, other than the fact, you know, some people like variable size stuff. I kind of like how this is just all squares. If I wanted to make one wider, I'd just pull one out. I've experimented with gluing these down, but again, just not great results. So, and it's all plastic. Yeah, these will break and crack real easy. But if you put them all together in a bag like this, I throw stuff in on top of this bag all the time, and so far none of them have broken, and I've been using this for a good year now. So that's what that is. Stay tuned. one day we'll have that giveaway video out. I'm actually going to put all these different screws, tons of different screws in there. That'll be part of the giveaway. This one I might include too. I don't know. No, and if people, I almost want to ban you. If you post on there, I want to win. This is not a giveaway right now. I'm just showing you that's what's whatever. So anyway, that's it. That's the difference, pretty much. Latches are kind of a little wonkier, and it's just kind of square. Anyway, I do like this one though. I think this one might be my favorite. I think it might be my favorite one out of all of them. It's pretty dang well made, and yeah, might have to go get another one of those to give it away. So if you have yourself looked at Harbor Freight, at those, or at the Apache cases, highly recommend these. Highly recommend those. These are doing great in the truck. That's doing great for the useless job it's got going on. But in the meantime, you know, Woodstream and Plano do have many other sizes like these, as well as smaller ones. So way more variety with the Plano brand. But you know, if you have a Harbor Freight near you and you need a good, decent, not good, not great, good, but a decent plastic bin, then yeah, check them out. Just remember the limitations on plastic bins, y'all. They're not all made equally. They're not all made for certain tasks. It's not a good idea to do some things with some not another. And I definitely wouldn't use it if I was flying. I would probably, if I had to fly somewhere and put tools or expensive stuff in, I would definitely buy the Pelican brand. So anyway, that's it. If you have any questions or comments on this, post them in the comment section. Appreciate y'all watching, and we'll catch you next video.